All right, what this screencast is going to do, it's going to show you how you can use Google Forms to send a certificate to your students. All right. When I was in the distance learning situation and I could not see my students face to face, I wanted a way to recognize them for all of their efforts for the end of the year efforts in my PE class. And so what I did is I figured out how I could create how I could create an easy system to where a student could fill a form out. And by filling out that form, it would then send them a certificate to their email. So you'll see right here, this is the simple form that I made. And the result was an email that looks like this. It's a scripted email that you are going to script prior to this. And then it sends them a certificate that you make. And that looks pretty cool. And this is a PDF file, so it can be printed out, it can be framed, easily shown to parents, whatever. Okay? So the program is called AutoCrat, and it's actually run through Google Sheets. So I'm going to show you this whole process. Okay? So once again, it's a way to have a student fill out a Google form so that it will send them a certificate. Okay? So how does this work? All right, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to close this one out and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. First of all, what you need to do, okay, is you need to create a folder in order to do this entire thing. So you got to set up a folder first and you got to make a certificate first, okay? So what I did here, I have not made this yet, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. This is a PE participation certificate, all right? So what I'm going to do is go into that folder, all right? Inside that folder, I have already created a certificate. You can create the certificate using Google Docs, or you can create it using Google Slides, whichever one you want, all right? I went out into the Google world, found a cool template, I downloaded it, doctored it up, and came up with my own certificate. I didn't have a ton of time to make up the certificate, so I wanted to do something that I thought really sent the message, was simple, yet had our school colors, represented what I wanted to say. And so I designed this certificate, okay? Now, you'll notice there's one section of the certificate that looks a little bit different than all the rest of them, and that is this section here. It's very important that on your certificate, you need to put these two brackets, you need to put the two brackets before and after whatever you want to populate automatically. In this case, I wanted the student name to be populated automatically because I do not want to have to enter all of the student names myself. That's what makes this program so awesome. So basically what's going to happen is when they fill out their name on the Google form, this program called AutoCrat is going to be able to tell this certificate, ultimately, this is going to change to their real name because of the program, okay? So how does all of this work? All right, so now, once you have your certificate created, all right, so I'm gonna close out of here. Once you have your folder created and your certificate created, now what you need to do is come in and create a Google form. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to create a Google form. That form is going to go into that folder. That's where you want it to be. Okay, so you can call this form whatever you want. All right, because I wanted to surprise my students, I just wanted to keep the name very simple, contact form, because I want them to think they're just filling this out so I have their contact information. Okay, so contact form. And here, please fill out all of the fields. First question, full name. I'm going to do short answer. Okay, please, and down here, I'm going to add a little description. Please fill this out with your first name, last name, i.e. Judson Sickler. Okay, so that's what you're going to do there. The next thing you're going to do, okay, is you're going to make that required. They have to fill that out. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to add, okay, once again, short answer, and you're going to write your email. That, okay. Now, what I do here is we're going to require that. Okay, here you're going to go to response validation. You're going to make sure that it's text and that it contains an email address, okay? Now, the next thing you're going to do, you are going to duplicate this, all right, but you're going to change this to parent email. I'm going to say parent, and they have to pick parent number 1 email, okay? Same thing. Short text with email, and then I'm going to make that one required. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to go parent 2 email, but I'm not going to require that because they may have one parent at home, whatever it is, okay? So one is required, one is not required. So the goal here is that they fill in at least one parent email. The parent will then receive this email as well and see the certificate without you having to send it to the parent. Okay, now we're done with that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go back here and you're going to see if that's in your folder. Okay, so here you have your form now in your folder and you have your certificate. All right, on forms, you're going to want to go to response. Your goal is to get to a Google Sheet. The way you do that is you are going to look for this icon right here, which is accepting responses. That's where all the responses are going to be collected. Okay, so you are now going to click on this, and it's going to open up create a new spreadsheet. Okay, you want to create that. Okay. Now, while that's populating, let's go back to the folder and make sure it's also in the folder, and it should be. Okay, but we go here. Now you'll see there's your Google Sheet, there's your Google Form, and there is your Google Slide certificate. So far, so good. Okay, once this loads, it's taking a little bit of time. What you're going to do now, you are going to go up here, and unfortunately, this word working is blocking what I want to show you. So as soon as this loads, I can go ahead and show you what to do next, okay? So you're going to want to go up here to where it says add-ons, okay? So what you're going to do here, you are going to go to add-on, and you are going to do Autocrat, and you're going to hit launch, okay? This is really cool. All right, so I wish this were going faster, but it's not, so we'll just be patient. Now, you're going to see this cool little design come up. No merge jobs. We have not set up a merge job, so what you're going to do is go new job. Okay? Now, name your merge job. I'm going to call it PE Participation Certificate 2019-20. Call it whatever your merge job, whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm very specific. This is what it is, okay? It's the job that's going to create a PE certificate. All right, so next, I'm going to go to the next. All right, so here's what you need to do. These are templates I've used to do this in the past, but those are not the ones I want to use. So what I need to do is I need to go to From Drive, okay? Now what I'm going to do, what I'm telling the program to do real quick is to go find this certificate, Participation Student Certificate, okay? So that's what I need to go find, and here it is because I recently worked on it. I'm going to hit select, okay? I'm now going to go next. Make sure it's here, Participation Student Certificate, currently selected template. That's what I want to use. I'm now going to hit next. So here's what's cool. On the certificate, you'll notice here, okay, right here, it found these tags. Like I was telling you, those tags are really important. It found those tags, the program. So it's saying that it is focusing on that particular area of the certificate because it has those brackets. If it did not have those brackets, it would not have identified anything. That's why you got to put the brackets there. Okay, now you need to tell it this student name maps to what on the spreadsheet? Full name. Okay, That's where the full name is going to be. Because what you want on here, you want this to become their full name. So once the student fills out the form and they put in their full name, that will then be populated on the certificate. All right. Next. Here, you want it to be a PDF file. Okay. How to name each file it creates. This part I didn't understand at first, but basically what's going to happen, it's going to create folders. It's going to create, every time a student fills this out, it's going to create this response in a folder back in your official folder. So what you want to do is, what I'm doing is I'm taking the full name. When you hit this and you hit full name, that copies it. And then what you're going to do is paste it right here. So every file that comes in is going to have the student name, okay? Multiple output mode. I'm not sure what single output mode is. All I know is that this is the one you're going to want to click, okay? Are we good? All right, now we're going to move to the next window. Next. Okay, what folder do you want this in? Official PE participation certificate. That is the folder where I'm going to want all the entries put. So every email that is sent, it's going to create a PDF certificate. They are all going to be in here. That's what I want. Okay. So that's where I want it to be. So it has already put it in the correct folder for me. Next. Okay. Add a dynamic folder reference. Okay. Select a column that will contain a valid folder ID when this job runs. Okay. Let me see. Folder ID column. Add a dynamic folder reference. I'm not 100% sure exactly what this is, but let me see. Reference, not your name. Full name. I want the full name. So here, yes. Okay, full name. All right, we're going to go to next. Set the merge condition. Okay, I just hit next here. Share doc, hit yes. Share doc as a PDF. Okay, share docs and send emails. That's essentially saying, once this document is created, do you want to share it with the student who filled out the form? Yes, you do. Okay, share the doc as a PDF. Allow collaborators to reshare. I'm going to hit no. Okay, now, 2, who do you want this to go to? You are going to want this to go to the student. So copy and paste V. That's very important. So it's going to go to the student. Who do you want it to be copied? I want parent 1, comma, and then you go here, parent 2, and you paste. Now, they're going to get it, and once they put in their parents' emails, they're going to receive a copy. Blind copy, I'm going to put my name. And that's good. Okay, reply to, that would be me. It'll come, so the email is going to come in from this. Okay, type in the subject. Okay, thanks for your participation in PE. Then what I did is I've already scripted what I wanted to write on notes. Okay, so you're going to come in here. I'm going to copy this. All right. And I'm going to pop this. This is the scripted email that is going to go to all of the students. Okay. Now I'm going to go to next. Run on a form trigger. Basically, what that means, I had to do a little bit of research for these triggers. Basically, what this means is that every time the form is filled out, it is going to send an email. That is going to trigger the email. Okay. Run on a time trigger. You could program it to run every hour, whatever you want. I'm not doing it on a time trigger. I'm only doing it on a form trigger. Okay. Now that's the last thing that you have to do. You're going to hit save. Okay. Once you hit save, it's basically creating. Now you're going to hit this button, the play button right here, and that runs the merge. Okay. So you hit save. then you run the merge, and you'll notice now on the spreadsheet, okay, these things, I can't really, you'll see, okay, back here, that you see these merge files. Now, here's the cool part, okay? Now that that whole thing's been set up, what you're gonna do, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go to the preview mode so that you can fill it in. You're gonna put in your name, okay? So I'm gonna put in my name, and I'm gonna put in my email. All right, let's assume parents, I'm gonna hit submit, okay? Now, once I hit submit, an email has been sent. So the student now just filled this out. What the student doesn't realize is they're going to be receiving that they've essentially just sent themselves an email with the certificate. All right. So when you go in here, all right, it's going to be popping up in my email at some point, and there it is right there. Thanks for your participation in PE. There is the scripted email that I copied and pasted in, and I pop open this, and there's your name, okay, for the student right there. So that is how you can use a Google form to send out a certificate to your students with the scripted email. I hope this helped.